Jack,
How you doing?
I'm Andy.
Great
to
to meet
meet
you.
So have a seat here. You need anything today? Need anything? Water?
I'm
You have
good.
water?
I'm okay.
Okay. Yeah, you found the place all right?
Found it just fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Jack. Well, what brings you in today?
Well, a lot of begging from my kids. They really think that I need help for some reason. Primarily because I did lose my wife about a year ago, and
Oh,
you
so
know,
sorry to hear that.
thank you. That was a sad time, and still sad. Obviously, I miss her every day, but and the kids just think I need grievance help for some
You
reason.
said she's been gone for how long?
A year now.
A year now.
Yeah,
Okay.
about a little more.
And you were referred here by your kids?
Yeah.
How many kids do you have?
They're worried about me. I have 3 kids.
Okay. Why do you think they would refer you here today?
They tell me that I'm not handling her loss very well for some reason, and um, they tell me, that I'm doing things I shouldn't be doing, but I think I'm doing fine, really.
Okay. So you would say, in your own words, that you're coping with it after a year fairly well?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Tell me about your employment situation right now, currently.
I'm not right now.
You're not. And were you employed?
I was. I quit my job.
Why did you quit your job?
I was just really sad at the time and just didn't feel like I could continue working.
Okay.
And I haven't thought to go back to work or look for work anymore.
Interesting. May I ask, how often do you use alcohol?
I probably drink every day, but who doesn't drink every day, right?
Okay. Where do you live now? Do you live alone, or are you with someone else?
I live alone in the same home that my wife and I used to live in, and my kids before they moved away.
Okay.
Or went off to school.
Okay. If you don't mind me asking, how old are your kids now?
They're all in their mid-20s.
Okay, so they're more or less grown up and out of the
Yeah,
house.
definitely.
Okay, so you are living alone, and you're not employed, and you use alcohol frequently.
Mm.
Okay. I'm going to ask you a couple of questions now.
Okay.
The first question is, and I'm just, bear with me. I'm just trying to kind of get a bigger feel for kind of what's going on here. On a daily basis, when you do not use alcohol, how, on a scale of 1 to 10, how depressed do you feel?
Probably like an 8 or 9.
Okay, so that's kind of high.
That's pretty high.
And what do you think the reason for that is? I mean, let me ask you another way. What sort of thoughts do you have that you think contribute to this depression that you're having on a daily basis?
Yeah, it's hard to put a thing to it. Obviously, I think about my wife a lot, and for some reason I try not to leave the house as much as I can. I like to just kind of stay in my house and watch TV or whatever it may be, as opposed to leaving, and that could be, I suppose, a reason too, but it just makes me feel better when I'm just kind of hanging out and not doing anything.
And do you, what sort of interests do you have? I mean, do you play any sports, belong to any clubs, friends, anything like that?
Well, I used to be a big time golfer. I played in high school and college, and I played basketball as well, and but now I just kind of stopped doing that for the time being. Anyways.
You stopped doing that?
Yeah.
Why did you stop doing that?
Well, I don't know. I had to take time off from my friends and stuff just to get over my wife's death, and still kind of in that stage right now. I plan to get back to it eventually.
Okay. So, can I ask you something? Are you looking for employment currently?
I haven't really actively looked for it.
Okay, so tell me about your income situation. where is your, I mean, if you're not actively working and you're not actively seeking employment, what is your source of income right now?
Yeah, right now I still have a fair amount of savings. I mean, not too much. It's not going to last me too much longer. Um, but I suppose I don't know how much my kids will help me and stuff, but I plan to have an income eventually, fairly soon, anyways. But right now my savings is kind of what's holding me.
Okay. Well, Jack, I want to tell you something here. Okay. You were referred here by your kids because they are very concerned about you. Okay. And after talking with you, I feel that you may have some level of stability now, but I see a time coming that if you continue on this path, you may have a very serious problem. Okay. Um, I Now that being said, ultimately, Jack, what we accomplish here today and going forward is going to be up to you. Okay. Um, Now, my recommendation would be that we deal with the alcohol first. I would really like to see you get some help with that, if not on an inpatient basis, on an outpatient basis. We have programs set up for exactly that.
Mm-hmm.
I want to tell you, though, that what you're going through, people experience loss very differently. What you're going through is normal. I've seen this before. This is not an abnormal situation, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, losing your wife, this is a very, very, very significant loss.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need to tell you that.
Right.
But I understand that, okay? I wonder, and I'm going to ask you, do you think that, let me ask you this, would you be open to exploring options of treatment, either inpatient or outpatient, for alcohol dependence? Is that something you'd be open to?
I think so now, because my kids are, if it's anything that'll make my kids happier, and certainly something that I suppose I never really thought of myself as alcohol dependent, but now that I take a step back, I suppose I kind of am.
Okay.
So if it makes my kids happy, I think I would be open to that idea.
Okay. One of the things that I feel you might benefit from also is individual counseling, separate from the alcohol dependence. Sometimes just talking these things through and sharing your feelings about how you're feeling about this loss. Keep in mind it's been a year, and it's normal to experience, feelings associated with that loss. We don't want this to define the rest of your life. The bottom line, Jack, is that you've been referred here because your family needs you. Your life doesn't have to be lived this way. It's not over. There is a huge opportunity here for you to move past this, and we can help you do that. The way that we do that is we play to your strengths. That's the biggest thing, is we need to look at, of course, you've shared, obviously, that there's a lot of problems. What would you say you have going for you right now?
Well, I've got my 3 kids, and I love hanging out with them as much as I can. I've got a lot of experience in the business world, so if I do want to get back in and pursue that, I think I'll have an upper hand. Yeah, those are a couple of things, and I certainly still, I still think about getting out, doing the fun things I used to do, and I aspire to do that stuff again one day.
Mm-hmm.
So.
I don't see somebody who's stuck so deep in their depression and their alcohol usage that you can't get past this. Okay, what I see here is somebody who just hasn't coped well with this loss, but that you are a very intelligent, useful, resourceful person who is loved by his family and friends. We just need to get you back functioning in those environments. We can help you do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a couple phone calls, and I'd like to see you back, if we can get you back in next week, and we can explore some outpatient. Do you think that you would prefer inner outpatient?
Outpatient,
Okay.
I think.
Okay, and we can work with that. At this time, I wouldn't recommend. I wouldn't. If you felt that you needed an inpatient program, we could go that direction. I wouldn't recommend that, make a specific recommendation that we go that way. I think if you think you can handle outpatient, we can do that. I'm also going to look into individual counseling with a therapist. Is that something that you're open to?
Yeah.
Okay. The last thing is we have there's different organizations that are available that they're kind of like consultants as far as resume development and job hunting. Is that something that you think you'd be interested in or open to?
Yeah, I suppose, yeah, I could, yeah.
Okay. Okay, well then, what we're gonna do is I'm gonna make some phone calls, okay? I'm gonna send you out of here today. We'll have you make an appointment for next week. The last question I have for you is, how are we going to keep you alcohol-free for the next week until we get you back in?
I could have one of my kids come and stay with me.
Okay.
I suppose.
There's actually a hotline, a 24-hour hotline. It's not a crisis line, but it's linked to one of the local Alcoholics Anonymous chapters. Is that something that if you felt that you weren't able to stay away from alcohol, is that something that you think you might need?
That does sound pretty helpful.
Okay, so we can get you linked up with that. And we'll go from there. So I'll tell you what, Jack, I appreciate you coming in today.
Yeah,
this is a great step. I think we're moving in the right direction, and we will see you next week.
Excellent.
All right.
Thanks.